What's your y'all? Well, let's move on with our Derby contender profiles, and we'll talk about Citizen Bull, the British Cup Juvenile Champion. This one is trained by Bob Baffert, and everything was looking pretty good until the Santa Anita Derby, and kind of the wheels fell off there. So the question is, can he regroup from there? I think we all have that question. Take a look at the pedigree. Into Mischief a lot of times does draw a question mark because it's got a couple of Derby winners, that's true, but the circumstances were kind of controversial. And then you look at a distorted humor mare, or dam rather, in No Joke, and looking through this female family, I did not find a whole lot of stamina. You'd have to go back to Evil Elaine to get Favorite Trick, who had some two-turn success. But as far as the classic distances go, I would say it's still a bit of a question mark for Citizen Bull. Looking at the Conduit Mare profile, you do see 11 as far as the solid influence and 2 for professional. So there is some stamina there, but it's pretty, it's rock even. Speed and stamina. Looking at the triads, you do have that big 26 for the classic, intermediate, classic, and solid there. So I don't think it's out of the question that Citizen Bull can get a mile and a quarter. It just on paper, it does look a little suspect. Don't worry about that 9 for dosage index. That is again. We've belabored the point, but it's not a figure that it has a whole lot of, not nearly as much credence as it used to, let's say. So we take a look at the running lines, and really the issue that I think we're all in agreement on is that this is a horse who's had easy lead after easy lead after easy lead, and he finally got a little bit of pressure in the Santa Anita Derby, and hey, he didn't really respond to it. Now, I'm not going to completely blame the horse because, well, he can only do what he can do. I mean, he runs and nobody contests the pace. Well, he's going to probably win pretty easily, and he has. You go back to the second start, the Del Mar Futurity. He had a little pressure there, didn't get the lead, and finished third. But moving forward, it just seems like he's had a tailor-made career. Baffert's been the puppet master with most of the horses running in these races, so he can pretty much dictate who is going to get the lead and who's going to win, and I think that was the case. The Santa Anita Derby, he finally had a race where you had journalism, Baeza, horses he couldn't control. And it seemed like he used Barnes as kind of a blocker. And the only thing I would say that's fairly encouraging is that he would that he must think pretty highly of Citizen Bull to allow him to be sort of the horse to run his race. And I don't know what that says, particularly when you consider in the stretch when Baeza, met him between the eyes, he just quit. And I just have a really bad lingering image of that. You also see that the late fraction as a 2-year-old with the American Pharaoh and the BC Juvenile, well, when you get a late fraction that high as a front runner, that means you're not getting a lot of pressure on the front end. And you see that Bob Lewis, even though he had a pretty easy time of it, his late fraction was reduced pretty considerably, and then really considerably in the Santa Anita Derby. So, I mean, it looks like everything is wrong for Citizen Bull going into the Derby. He's going to have a lot of other pace to deal with, and his stablemate, Rodriguez, to me, is a much more enticing prospect. We'll see how he trains. I will say this: if I do see on the work tab a 6 furlong work, then I would tend to believe that Bob Baffert hasn't completely given up the ship with this one. But right now, not looking terribly good coming into the Derby. So we look at our first take. What are the positives? Well, speed figures are commensurate with the better horses here. Kind of a cut below, but still good enough and competitive. One of the negatives, sad to say, but there's more negatives than there are positives for this one. He's a need the lead type. Pace issues, going to have a lot of horses competing for it, including his stablemate Rodriguez. And the biggest question of all, of course, is can he step it up? And so far, the answer has been no. He seems to have had everything his own way, and he's kind of a little Lord Fauntleroy in some regards of horse racing. So it's not a really rosy outlook for Citizen Bull, I would say. Particularly the fact since he's raced on the West Coast exclusively, we don't know how he can handle the East Coast horses or stiffer competition. So to me, not very good outlook for Citizen Bull. But anyway, that's our assessment. Hopes it helps you with your own rating, your own judgment of Citizen Bull's chances. If you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. And again, thanks so much to all of you who continue to grow the community. Thanks for the comments. Keep those going. It bolsters our community, and I appreciate it. So thanks to all of you who have chimed in so far. We will have much more content. We'll continue on with our contender profiles, and then we will get into the elements of handicapping. We're going to do that for the Oaks as well. To the best of our ability, time permitting. So be on the lookout. Plenty more content coming. That's it from here. I'll talk to you soon. And until then, be well.